Good morning, everybody. It's nice to see you all today. We are going to have a couple lessons continued on the way that the moon affects us on Earth. So we heard about the phases of the moon. Today we're going to talk about tides, and tomorrow you're going to hear about eclipses. So today we'll talk about tides from mainly this book right here, Earth, Moon, and Sun System. And we'll also be reading a little bit from the Moon book. Now, first of all, it says in our book on page 20, at the seashore, you can see that the water level in the ocean is always changing. For those of you who've been to the ocean before, you would know about possibly some of the tides that come in, how it's just changing constantly. The regular rise and fall of the water level is called the tide. Now, the tide is caused mainly by gravity between Earth and the moon, together with the Earth's movement in space. Earth and moon pull on each other. Remember that gravity is a force that pulls things together. So Earth and moon are pulled through gravity. The moon's pull on Earth is strongest on the side of Earth closest to the moon. So Earth's gravity is stronger than the moon, but because it has a greater mass. However, the moon does have some pull on Earth in its strongest where it's close to the moon. I'll show you a picture in just a moment. Now, a bulge of ocean water forms on that part of Earth. So the moon, with its gravitational pull, is slightly pulling ocean water towards it. The bulge is at high tide, okay? Just like this. So here is the moon. Gravity is pulling it. As you can see, there is water all along the surface. However, there is more water on this side closest to the moon because of that pull. That is what we would call high tide if it is being pulled closer. These pictures show the difference in a single spot because of the change of tide, high tide versus low tide, what it would look like. It shows high tide left here and low tide on the right at a specific bay in Nova Scotia, Canada. So it's a difference of it being able to float on the water or not. It's not always that extreme, but you're also able to see tide pools because of the changing tides as well. There are times when there is water for creatures to live in, and other times that it's low and it's not going to be seen at all. Or actually, I think it's low tide when you're able to see them because it's low enough that you are able to get near, but I'll look that up. Now, other places on Earth have a low water level or low tide at the same time that there's high tide on another part. As Earth rotates, different places on Earth have high tide and low tide. As you can see, kind of the opposite. Most shorelines have 2 high tides and 2 low tides about every 24 hours. So as the Earth rotates, it will be close to the moon 2 times to have those high tide periods and furthest away twice. Gravity between Earth and Sun also affects tides. So it's also because of Earth and Sun, their gravitational pull. The effects of the sun are not as great as those of the moon. This is because the sun is so much farther away. So remember that there is a stronger gravitational pull for objects with greater mass, but it also has to do with distance, and the sun is much farther away from us than the moon is. But the sun can make the moon's effect stronger or weaker. For example, sometimes the moon, Earth, and sun are in a straight line. High tides are higher and low tides are lower when this happens. So when they're all lined up, there is a stronger pull, and for low tide, it's especially low. Okay, so there is high tide and low tide. I was also going to pull it up here in the Moon book. Okay. So this little explanation says, the moon affects the oceans too. The moon's pull, called gravity, on the oceans is strong enough to cause tides. Tides are the daily rising and falling of the ocean's water. So here's 2 children playing. This would be only ocean water specifically, although lakes and rivers change a little bit as well. So high tide happens about every 13 hour, it says. 13 hours. Now, a low tide happens about every 13 hours as well. So it's a little bit more than just like, noon and midnight. It always happens. It changes a little bit more than that. Now, the moon takes about 25 hours to come back to the same place in the sky it was the night before. So tide differences vary around the world. So it takes a little bit more than a day for the moon to get back to its same place. So that's why tide is not exactly 12 hours every single time. So let's take a look at tide pools, since we're just talking about that, or I was talking to you about it. So yeah, it's low tide when you're able to see these tide pools. Which if you ever have gone to the ocean before, hopefully you get a chance to see tide pools. So when it's lower, you're able to peek in at some of these creatures that would otherwise be hidden, like starfish and sea anemones. Right? So at high tide, all of this would be, the water level would all be much higher. And then when it's low tide, you're able to see all of these creatures much better. These little pools of water. Okay, so you've got some notes to take on tides after this, and also another video to explain this information as well. That's all that I have for this video. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day.